What is up, guys? I am Camden, as you might know, and Earth. We all love it, we all know it, so let's create it in Blender. It looks really amazing, and it's an Eevee, so it's completely in real time, so that's cool. We can go into cycles. You can see it completely breaks, so Eevee's a bit better. So let's get into it. Let's add a new thing. So what we're gonna do is click A, X, delete, and add in a UV sphere. Scale it up by 10 by clicking S and then 10. Now go into edit mode by clicking tab, right click, subdivide. Now click this little arrow right here and change the smoothness slider all the way up to 1. And choose the number of cuts to be 5. Now it looks really smooth, and you can right click shade smooth to make it look even more smooth. So now what you're going to do is go to the material tab and use the default material that has already been made. Call it Earth. Also name the sphere Earth. Okay, so yeah. Alright, now click this yellow dot, choose image texture, and open the image that is in the description, and open the albedo. Now go to the material preview, and it looks like this. Looks very much like Earth. And over here, you see when you normally add a UV sphere, and be like, oh, here's a UV sphere, scale it by 10. Most people do like, all right, go to the modifiers tab and add in a subdivision surface and change it to 5, right? Well, when you choose the Earth material, it sometimes stretches the material and it doesn't look good. But with this subdivided cube in edit mode, it doesn't have like all this weird stuff. So yeah, put your mouse over to this little corner until it makes a little crosshair, and then click and drag it out. Now click this ball and grid, choose shader editor. Click N to bring out that side panel and close it, and bring out your albedo texture. Duplicate it, put it down here, and open the bump. Now change sRGB to non-color and add in a bump node. Color to the height, normal to the normal, and let's go into record view. Add a sun lamp, strength of 10, and the land looks very, very high and low, and we don't want it to look crazy. So change the strength on the thing on the bump to 0.2, and that should solve all your cases. And you can see that here it's using uniform roughness, so the water and land is the same value of roughness and specular. So what you're going to do is add in a color ramp, change it to B-spline, color to the factor, and color to the specular and roughness, and bring this white slider down, up to 0.1. Now you can see that the land right here is rough and the water is, well, it looks like water. That's good. But we're kind of in gray oblivion, so can someone help me, please? Go to the world tab, change the color to black. Now it looks way better. Okay. Shift D to duplicate the Earth. Right click to center its movement. and rename it to clouds. Now scale it up by 1.0015 and click this little 2 pages right here. Make a new material and call it the clouds. Now delete the color ramp, delete the bump and the color ramp, and bring the albedo to the alpha. Also bring it into the bump. Now it looks all like white and weird. We don't want it to look like that. So open the clouds. Now it still looks weird. So go into the material tab and change the blend mode to alpha blend and the shadow mode to alpha hashed. Now bring the strength of the bump to 0.05 and turn the distance to 50. Yes, 50. I'm not kidding. All right, so now the ocean looks really blue and there's not an atmosphere. So basically we're all dead right now. So duplicate the clouds, right click, scale 1.0015 and rename it to Atmo or atmosphere if you please. So add a new material and call it, well, Atmo. Now delete the clouds and the bump and add in a layer weight. Take the Fresnel and plug it into the alpha and the base color. Now it'll look like an atmosphere, just, well, white. So add in a color ramp. Yes, make it B-spline again. Change this white slider all the way to 0.2. Now, turn the saturation all the way up and the hue to 0.6. Now, it'll look like this really, really good atmosphere. So, we are done with the atmosphere, the clouds, and the earth, but you might be able to notice something. We have no city lights on the dark side of the earth. So we need to fix that. So bring your material output all the way out and add in a mix shader. Add in an emission and an image texture. Plug the color into the strength, and usually you would put it into the color, but no. And the emission into a bottom shader. So now add in a math node, put it in between the color and the strength, and add it and put it to multiply. Multiply it by 2 and open the night lights modified. Now, if this loads, it will look like there are night lights on the dark side of the earth, right here. But there are also night lights in broad daylight. We don't want that to happen, obviously. So take the color and make it the saturation 1 and the hue to 0.02. All right, now we have like this orange glow and it looks really nice, but it's still on the day side. So add in a color ramp. And you might be guessing, oh, just make it B-spline. Yeah, that's you. That's what you sound like. But no. All you do is flip the color ramp by clicking this little arrow and choosing flip, and bring this black slider all the way to 0.1. Now put the color into the factor and add in a shader to RGB, color to the factor, and a diff shader, diffuse, BSDF to the shader. Now the lights are only in the dark side. It's great. Wow. if you want to add some post-processing before you render and all that stuff, you can go into the Render tab and turn on Ambient Occlusion, Bloom, and Screen Space Reflections. You don't have to do Ambient Occlusion and Screen Space, but I think it adds a bit more stuff. Alright, now you have like this really, really photorealistic Earth. It looks really cool. So turn off overlays. Now add in a camera and position it wherever you want your camera to be. And choose Control-Alt-Number-Pad 0. And if the entire Earth is not in view, you can choose Shift-tilde key and S to make it go backwards. Now you can take the sun lamp that we created in the first few minutes of the video and double tap R and rotate it to your likings. I usually find an angle for the top value to be 40 and bottom value to be 90 to be good. And yeah, you can render now. So click F12. And now it like renders in like half of a second. So yeah, it looks like this. Looks really good. Let's add some post-processing. So go to the compositor. Click Use Nodes. I created this setup where you can create a nice atmosphere. So you can see that right here. So basically what I did is I took the render layers, put it into a blur, and then after I took the blur, I plugged it into a color ramp, which is into a mix node, which mixes the original thing with the blur and the color ramp. Put that to 0.2, keep it at mix. And I put the mix into the top slider and the original image into the bottom slider and changed it to multiply and a factor of 0. Then I added a glare node, changed it to low, size of 9, and I put it into a viewer and composite node. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up this thing. So when you click F12, you can do that. You can, edit it. B-spline. And you can edit it, and it will look very, very good. So that pretty much wraps up this video. I hope you like it, and goodbye. That's it.